Hi, everybody. Kevin Lonnquist here, publisher of Sikkim Sports, and we're joined here on the Zoom conference with the newest member or one of the newest members of the Los Angeles Rams, and Baylor linebacker Clay Johnston. And Clay, first of all, selected in the seventh round by the Rams in Saturday's NFL draft, the 85th draft that's been conducted in the history of the organization of the NFL. And Clay, congratulations to you. This has been a long road for you since the tearing of the ACL and your left knee back in mid-April or mid-October, I should say, against Texas Tech. And the fact that we came to this point to where you were selected by this, did you ever think back in October that this moment was realistic?
Definitely. I actually just – because I knew I had a lot of people around me praying for me, helping me, including my dad and Dan Paff, and just – all these people who their profession is to help players get back on the field and rehab them and just manage that situation. So I did believe it could happen. There was obviously doubting along the path, but I'm thankful it came into reality. Praise the Lord.
So obviously you knew nothing was going to happen for you on Thursday and Friday, the first 2 days of the draft. But for you on Saturday – what was the activity like during that day? The draft started at 11 o'clock Central Time, but what was the activity you were getting from NFL teams to where it culminated to where the Rams picked you late Saturday afternoon? Take us through that timeline, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. Well, before the draft even started, there were a couple teams that were calling. I know the Saints called before the draft even started, and they also called during the draft, kind of reiterating free agency stuff because they didn't have any picks on day 3. And the Raiders also called before the draft talking about free agency, said they think I could have come in immediately and been the backup Mike linebacker. But then as the draft kept going on, you started getting calls from the agent, Bus Cook, and he was just telling his 2 cents worth what he was thinking about how the draft was going. He's like, just sit back, relax, see what's going. He said he has teams calling him about free agency and stuff. But right when you started getting around the late 5th round, that's when teams started kind of calling back and forth. I mean, I got a call from the Colts, and the guy he said, "Hey, Bus," and I'm like, "Oh, this is meant for Bus Cook. This wasn't meant for me." He's like, "Is Clay gonna go? Is he gonna go Carolina, or is Carolina gonna pick him and stuff?" Because they had a pick, and I was like, "What's up? This is Clay." He's like, "Oh, Clay." He's like, "We're just wondering if you'd want to come to Colts for a free agent route." So, I mean, towards the end of up to the end of being drafted by the Rams, there was probably like 8 to 12 teams, and there were still like 40 or 50 picks left. No, that doesn't make sense. There was around 30 picks left. And so it was getting kind of hectic. But I guess the Rams just believed in me, and I'm thankful they did. I was really thankful that they took a shot, and I was just fired up. I mean, I know there's videos going around of how stoked I was. I mean, I was stoked.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I love the legendary story about going through the car windshield too about that. And so,
oh yeah. I mean,
but did you get a call from? Because typically the way these drafts are going to go down is that the team, when they know that they can pick you, is going to call you moments ahead of time and say, "Hey, are you ready to be a member of the Rams?" or something like that. Did you actually get a call from the Rams, or did you actually find out when the announcement was made?
No, I got a call from him. Okay, well here, now I'm going to tell you some crazy stuff. This is weird. And so the Chicago Bears, I think it's still the 7th round. It was either 6th or 7th. They had 2 back-to-back picks. You can probably go check up on it and see when it was. It was in the 6th or 7th. And I was talking to their linebacker coach, and they were like, "Hey, we might go for you this round." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm sitting here waiting and stuff, and I'll be ready." I get a call right during, like, say the Eagles were before them. Mm-hmm. Like their pick was in and the pick showed up, and now the Bears are going to come on the clock. So I get a call from a Chicago number, and I'm like, "Oh my, this is, I guess they're going to draft me." So I get a call, boom, it's a guy. He says, I don't even recall his name, but he was saying, "Hey, you want to be a Bear?" And I'm like, "Of course I do." I thought this was like, that's the call. He's like, "Okay, we're going to call your agent, finalize the paper. We're going to make it a done deal." And I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome." And then their linebacker coach calls me. He's like, he's like, we're going to get this done. He's like, I'm so fired up right now. And so I was like, yeah, coach, let's do it. I'd love to be a Bear. I was like, you're talking about like the draft, right? Your 2 picks are coming up right now in like 10 seconds. And he's like, no, it's free agency. And I was like, whoa. It just took me off guard because like how the wording, like you call him and you say you want to be a Bear. It's kind of like it was kind of sneaky in a sense. And so I was like, well, I can't commit to anything. There's still like 30 or 40 picks left. And so
Right.
they were like, okay, yeah, we understand. And I told Bus, the agent, that that's how they kind of worded it. And so I was just kind of confused. So waited it out. And then there were so many teams in the free agency route contacting. Bus was kind of like, hey, I want you to kind of commit somewhere because, you know, that can make a team possibly want to draft you because, like, it kind of puts a little heat on him, like, hey, he's already committed to this school. Like, you can't even really ask him to go the free agency route now. And so I was probably going to eventually go be a Panther, but that kind of got slashed away really quickly. So, and I'm beyond thankful for the Rams just to believe in me and give me the opportunity.
So when you talked to Coach McVeigh, what was kind of the message? What was the discussion like? What did they see in you that convinced them that you were quote unquote worth that pick in the 7th round?
He just said they believed in me and they believe that the knee is going to continue to get better and that they're going to give me a good opportunity. And the first thing he said was, he says, you ready to do this thing? Because I'm ready. He's like, we want you. And, like, he's just fired up. And that got me fired up, just him kind of giving a little energy at the beginning. And then he just said his blood was boiling because he was getting so pumped too, just listening to me talk. But I was really excited. It was all genuine. There was no show there. I was really fired up.
You know, you and I had talked in the story that we had in Sikkim Sports a few days ago about this, where you thought 7th round, it seemed the way the talk was that you were more or less going to go the free agent route. Then you mentioned that a couple teams thought perhaps maybe 5th or 6th round. But the fact that you were actually drafted, Clay, what does that mean to you versus free agency? There's a different mentality to it, but what did it look? It sounds like you were going to get an opportunity either way. But the fact that you were actually selected, what does that mean to you versus the free agency route?
I think it's a huge honor. I think teams, just if you're drafted by a team, I think it just shows you that they really, really believe in you, and they believe you can come in and help the team in some form or fashion, whether that be special teams or immediately make an impact in the linebacker room. And so I know the viewpoint from a football player, obviously anyone wants to be drafted besides a free agent because that's just the team choosing you as if they just believe in that player and how much they can help the team. And so that's a huge honor instead of having the ability to choose. I mean, it's still good, a nice thing to choose where you want to go, but I believe it's such a huge honor, and I would be willing to say that 100% of football players would be saying the same thing.
Of course. So let's talk a little bit about, obviously we're dealing nationally with the COVID-19 situation where everyone's kind of in the shelter in place, or it's starting to rotate off in some cases in the States. So with the Rams being in California, of course, what's been kind of the methodology and the timeline about how they would like for you to try and get out there, or or OT, rookie camps, if you can even do that? What's been kind of the message you're getting from them about over these next few weeks, that sort of thing?
Well, I talked to one of their director of like player engagement and stuff and like player personnel and all this stuff. And they said that virtual meetings start May 11th because their rookie mini camp and all that stuff is obviously probably going to be ex-nayed this year with the coronavirus going on. And so all 32 teams, we all know, have to agree, like in the NFL, like there's not one team that can go work out of the facilities and while the other teams can't. So they all have to be able to go to the facilities. And so I don't know when that timeline is exactly, but they really didn't know at the same time. So who knows? That might clarify in the future, but
right,
I'm not exactly sure.
It's kind of a day-to-day process, it would seem like. And so in your respect, so since you're dealing with them on a day-in and day-out basis, are they looking for daily workout tapes to see how the knee is progressing and just how you're coming along? Are there suggested workouts that they've emailed to you or sent to you that you need to go through at least on your own with quote unquote some supervision, or how is that all going to work out leading up to those May 11th virtual meetings?
Well, actually, the last time I talked to someone regarding the Rams organization was the linebacker coach. He was just saying how he believes this is a great opportunity for me coming into this situation, and he doesn't think I really realize how good of an opportunity it is. So he's really happy to just coach a guy like me who just loves football and stuff. So other than that, I haven't really. I'm sure they're kind of maybe wanting to take it. They're wanting to take a day off from just 3 days of draft, sitting in rooms, going over players, evaluating them. And so I'm sure tomorrow I'll get a couple calls from people within the organization. And best believe I will be answering those as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Is there anything as far as your workouts or maybe the game tape, because you were basically in half the season for Baylor this year, that the Rams really liked and what they saw from you? Or what was kind of the thing that you got from other than the fact that they believed in you, which every team is going to say that, of course.
Yeah.
Anything specific that they pointed to that they saw that convinced them that you could help them?
Yeah. Well, they said they're extremely thin at inside linebacker position. And so I think I can help with that. And I also think they're looking at me just to come in right away and contribute on all 4 core special teams, just be a 4 core guy. And so, when it comes to the football play, I think I remember meeting with the linebacker coach, and we didn't even talk X's and O's at the combine. He's like, let's just talk about life. He's like, I don't even need to really chat about it with you. And so I think they would believe that I can probably pick up on schematics and the X's and O's of the game fairly quick. And obviously I'm going to have to learn and get in there like everybody. But I think that starts May 11th when we meet with the linebackers and the linebacker coach.
The fact that here you are 6.5 months after this, and I know when I wrote the story earlier in the week that you had said that you're about 85 to 95% running. So Clay, from the last time we talked, you said you're about 85 to 95% running, and then agility wise. So where do you think you are since we spoke then to where you are now in that?
Well, I think when it comes to linear speed, I'm just continuing to get better. I was already at max when I talked to you last time. But when it comes to lateral stuff, I would throw an extra 5% on there. It's going to continue to get better as the weeks progress and even months, which is going to help me not going into like rookie mini camp and all these OTAs and stuff. So it just gives me more time to heal. So, I feel really good where I'm at right now. I'm very thankful.
For you, and two, what's going to be important for you? I guess you just kind of work with your continual rehab and regimen over these next few days up until these virtual meetings start, until you hear from the Rams about if something else changes and what they want you to do or anything of that respect.
Yeah, I'm sure I wouldn't be a bit surprised if I talk to them and they want me to go to Dallas to maybe like a PT clinic or something, or assign me like a physical therapist or someone to go meet and work out with. Wouldn't be a bit surprised if that happened. But or if they give me a program. I don't know exactly yet. I'm probably going to find out tomorrow. I'll probably find out a lot of things tomorrow.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I'm just going to continue to do my part, and it's kind of interesting because I'm going to have to. My dad, he's got to just kind of let go a little because he's with the Panthers, and he can't just come on in and assist because now I'm under a team, and so.
Yeah.
But that's part of it, and he totally understands, and he knows Coach Joe Barry, and he's good friends with them, and I'm just thankful to play for a guy like that.
You were part of a historic, and I'll use the word historic, Baylor drafting class. There were you were one of 4 players who were selected. 10 other guys, because Sam Tecklenburg signed a free agent contract on Sunday with Carolina as well. Everyone's going to Carolina or Minnesota, apparently.
Yeah, that's so true.
14 guys from this team were either drafted or signed free agent deals throughout the NFL. That's an amazing number.
Yeah.
In the fact that just guys getting opportunities here. What does that tell you about where this program climbed under Matt Rule and what it meant to their development, to where these guys, nothing's guaranteed, but guys at least get their shot?
Yeah, I think it definitely speaks on the culture that Matt Rule brought here. Just hardest working, most competitive team in the country, and the toughest, so to speak. And I just think everyone kind of bought into that aspect. Like you had older guys that were leaders, and now it's showing because it's paying off, like the fruits of their labor. I mean, they're getting an opportunity to go into camp as a free agent and show what they have and possibly make a team. You never know. And so I would I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you see 5 or 6 of these guys come out either on practice squad or actually making the team, just because of what Coach Rule brought into the Baylor atmosphere. And they learned. We just lived at the facility. It was nonstop football. And if they continue that under Coach Dave Aranda, which I believe they will, because you have older guys like Charlie Brewer and Terrell Bernard that will continue to lead that culture. And if the young guys buy in to those older leaders, they're going to have success.
Here's one thing I learned in looking at the stats from the 2019 season about Clay Johnston, folks, is Baylor played 13 games. Clay played in 6 of them, and he was still tied for 5th in total tackles on this team. That shows you what – and that kind of shows you were all over the field in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Clay, again, we wish you nothing but the best. Congratulations on Saturday. Had to be a great moment for you and your family to celebrate there.
It was awesome.
And we're looking forward to watching your progress throughout the fall. Thanks for doing this and coming on with Sikkim Sports with us.
Heck yeah. I loved it. Thank you guys for having me. I hope to talk to y'all again.
All right. We'll look forward to tracking your progress, Clay. Thanks so much.
Okay, see you.
All right. We will talk to hopefully many more of these Baylor players who have signed either free agent contracts or were selected in the draft coming up as we go throughout the coming weeks. I'm Kevin Lonnquist for Sikkim Sports. We'll talk to you next time.